If you've been watching the market in Wellen Park, you might be wondering, are things actually changing or is it just noise? Because depending on who you ask, you're hearing very different things right now. So in this video, I'm breaking down what's actually happening in Wellen Park's single-family home market and villas, condos, and townhomes. And more importantly, how it compares to last month so you can see where things are really heading. I put together a free Wellen Park relocation guide that breaks down the neighborhoods, builders, and what to expect. The link is in the description below. So let's start with what's happening in single-family homes over the past 30 days. The median sold price came in at about $581,000, while the average price was just over $627,000. And that gap is important, because it tells us higher priced or newer homes are still pulling that average up, while most homes are selling closer to that mid-500 range. Now, one of the biggest shifts we're seeing is in timing. Homes are taking about 66 days to go under contract, which is noticeably slower. Buyers are taking their time, they're comparing options, negotiating, and not feeling rushed. Homes are selling at about 97% of asking price. So yes, buyers are negotiating. Sellers still need to price correctly to get results. Now here's where it gets really interesting when we compare this to last month. We're not seeing a dramatic shift in pricing, but we are seeing a change in behavior. Days to contract is up from 49 last month to 66 this month. Homes are taking a little longer to sell, and buyers are becoming more selective. So this isn't a market that's declining, it's a market that's normalizing. This is where a lot of buyers get tripped up. Not every neighborhood in Wellen Park behaves the same. More established communities tend to hold value differently than the newer construction, and builder incentives can shift pricing in ways that aren't always obvious. So you really have to look at price, timing, inventory, and the specific neighborhood, not just the overall market. And one thing I always remind buyers, the home price is only part of the picture. Things like insurance, HOA fees, and CDD fees can have a big impact on your monthly cost, so those need to be factored in when you're comparing options. Now, let's take a look at villas, condos, and townhomes, because this part of the market is behaving a little differently. The median sold price here is about $375,000, with the average coming in just under $370,000. So right away you can see this is a more affordable entry point compared to single-family homes. Homes in this category are going under contract in about 41 days. So compared to single-family homes, these are actually moving faster, which tells us there's still strong demand at this price point. These are selling at about 98% of asking price. So buyers still have some negotiating room, but properties that are priced well are moving quickly. When you compare this to single-family homes, there's a clear difference. Lower price points are moving faster and staying more competitive, while higher price points are taking a little longer and giving buyers more room to negotiate. This is why it's so important to look at the market by property type, not just overall, because depending on your budget, you could be in a completely different market experience. And just like we saw with single-family homes, this part of the market isn't dramatically shifting, but we are seeing patterns. Homes that are priced well are still moving quickly, especially at these lower price points. So overall, the Wellen Park market is balanced. Homes are still selling, prices are holding, but buyers have more time and more negotiating power than we've seen in the past few years. This is where buyers are finding opportunity versus competition. If you're trying to figure out which neighborhoods actually make the most sense for your situation or how these numbers apply to you, feel free to reach out or grab my free Wellen Park relocation guide. I break all that down for you there. And I'll keep these updates coming as the market continues to shift.